Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Who do our government work for? Well, for the people who vote for the elected officials to represent them and to pursue and push policies that the electorate voted on to pursue, right? Yeah, that's why we have democracy. All right, so we have a representative democracy. That's the system by which we elect our employees, not leaders, employees. So if that's the way it works, I will give you here about 6 articles where you're gonna maybe ask yourself if that is true, and if, let's say, the government of the United States of America and Great Britain are really representing their people or foreign interests. I don't know. You make your own mind. I can't connect the dots here on YouTube for you, but I can provide you with some pieces of information, and you could connect or not any dots that could be or not connected. So let's start with the first one. The Independent. Tucker Carlson claims Jeffrey Epstein worked for Israel to blackmail US officials. And I'm quoting Tucker Carlson, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. So Tucker Carlson has claimed that the deceased child sex pop was working for the Israel government, and that, quote unquote, every single person in Washington, D.C., end quote, thinks the same. And I'm quoting, I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why is that? Carlson also suggested that the disgraced financier with no finances, it just got him from someone else, may have been running, and I'm quoting, a blackmail operation, as he discussed new information recently released by the Department of Justice. All right. He says a 2-page memo from DOJ and FBI said Epstein had no client list and that a convicted pedophile died by suicide in jail cell in 2019, shortly before going to jail, angering some among the mega faithful, not decent people. Only MAGA will be upset if they feel that something is hiding with this pedo. Okay, only MAGA. All right, so my friends, and what do you think? He says, speaking about the development of a Turning Point USA summit in Tampa, Carlson slammed the findings of the administration. And I'm quoting, the real question is, why was he doing this? On whose behalf? And where did the money come from? He said, I agree with that. I think the real answer is, and I'm quoting, Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of Intel Services, probably not American, and we have every right to ask on whose behalf was he working. You can ask, but nobody's going to tell you. Now, no one's allowed to say that the foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. End quote, Carlson said. And I'm quoting, there's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. And you have the right to expect your government will not act against your interest. And you have a right to demand the foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interest. This is, what kind of deceitful times we live in, that telling the truth becomes an revolutionary act. What Carlson says is ABC 1, 2, 3 is normal. Is not. He has to cover it and avoid interpretations and say this is not that. No, this is not that. He's afraid that he would be labeled, which I think he is already labeled by the media operatives as such, that he's trying to avoid. Yeah, I would like to know, and I have the right to know because I pay taxes, and you are over there to represent me. You're not in charge of me. This is a misconception. You have to put it the other way around. They're over there. You hired them to conduct and complete a job that you wanted done. Like a plumber. You hire whatever plumber you want and you can fire whatever plumber. The plumber is not in charge of you. He's gonna fix your thing. If the plumber does a shitty job, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? He's not your boss. He's just a, sorry to make the analogy with the plumber, I don't want to insult anybody, but you are just a tool I'm using to fix my things. That's all. That's why I hire you, the president, and the president gets his cabinet, in order to fix my thing. You're my employee. You're not my leader. You don't lead shit. You do what I tell you. Or you told me you will do what I want you to do. It shows like they have different agendas. So that's the first one. I said this for many, I don't know, I say years, because it's maybe 2-3 years. That's how it's really, I think, is a blackmail operation. A guy with no finances gets a lot of money and gets all these important people to maybe get engaged in certain kind of situation where they can be blackmailed. I think Bill Clinton, I support that. I maintain that Bill Clinton with Lewinsky was also a blackmail operation. It failed, I think, or maybe not. Look what Bill Clinton did for them, and then you're going to find out if that worked or not. I don't think it worked because he said, I didn't have sex with that woman. I didn't have sexual relations with that woman. She just blew me. Okay, next. I'm going to give you another example. Sputnik. US, United States of America, sanctions on United Nations official for criticizing Israel. Highlight human rights double standards. I think this is from a movie, right? No, my friends, this is true. This is what a Palestinian man carries that child, all right? United States decision to sanction Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese for denouncing human rights violations committed by Israel in Gaza Strip clearly illustrates a political hierarchy of the principle of human rights on the part of Washington. Within the framework of the Western narrative regarding the survival of the State of Israel, any criticism of its action is perceived as an existential threat, he says, commenting on any move by Washington targeting critics of Israel's wars. Next. Al Jazeera. United States sanctions United Nations expert Francesca Albanese over Israel criticism. Put a face on the name. I heard her speak. I listened to her. Very courageous. And I don't think she's going to end up well, unfortunately. They will do something. Next. CNN. House, that is the US, United States of America, House of Representatives, passes International Criminal Court sanctions bill in response to Netanyahu warrant. So the country of the United States of America, with the elected officials in the House of Representatives, passes a law, a bill, to sanction a criminal court, international criminal court, for a foreign leader, not the American leader, a foreign leader, okay? The House passed the bill on Thursday to sanction the International Criminal Court officials in response to the court issuing an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. My friends, the idea that everyone hates you because you're good, no, I don't buy that. If someone criticizes me and I say you criticize me because you're bad, not because maybe you have the right to criticize me, maybe I do something wrong. They never do anything wrong. Never. How can they? Okay, so they were kicked out. They came back. Why would you? I mean, if someone kicks you out, let's say you go to a house and you're abused over there, you're killed and so on, and you got kicked out, you would say, God damn, I'm out. I'm going somewhere else. But then you come back among the same haters? Who does that? Remember, it's a lot of immigration in America from countries that they're told that this country is fundamentally racist and it has a systemic racism here. But people from Africa keep pouring in this country, knowing that once they come over here, they will be discriminated against and they will be hurt by this racist here. I mean, is this logic to you? I mean, if you use the Bible logic, yeah, it's logical, because I don't know what it is. But if you use our ancient Greek logic, no, it's not logic at all. We live by two different set of... all right, next one. Let me show you what the Americans and how the Americans love peace. Here, another example. According to United Nations, United States vetoes Security Council resolution demanding permanent ceasefire in Gaza. All right, this was done on 4th of June 2025. Got it? Here we have the text co-sponsored by Algeria, Denmark, Greece, Guyana, Pakistan, Panama, the Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, Slovenia, and Somalia, collectively known as the E10, received 14 votes in favor, with the US casting the lone vote against. So everybody on one side, the United States of America knows better. Next one. Let me show you the Brits. Their Brits are not better. Russia Today. Dozens arrested after UK brands Palestine Action as a quote-unquote terror group. So, and why? The organization was banned last month after its members broke into an airbase and vandalized 2 military planes. Okay. When you have PETA, animal rights, when you have Greenpeace blocking, you do stuff like that. When you have people who paint themselves on the concrete, on the tamaracks, or the whatever, on the airfields, don't allow the planes to... When you have people from organizations painting on our paintings, great paintings, our historical monuments chopped and destroyed by these vandals, belonging to certain groups, are they also categorized as terrorist groups? No. Why not? Because they have nothing to do with Palestine. All right, my friends, don't hurt anybody's feelings in Great Britain. You might be by the came to verify if you're okay, you're sane, or you apologize. By police. But hey, it's unidirectional. The rest of the population cannot be insulted by those guys who demand them to shut the fuck up. You cannot be outraged, because if you're outraged, then you are hateful. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, who's who, what's what? I want to remind you that tomorrow, Monday the 14th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, United States of America, and I think it's 9:30 p.m. Western Europe, and 5:30, 6:30, depends on, I think, in Australia, I will have a live stream. Ask me anything you want. I will try to answer as much as I know and as much as I'm allowed. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, 3:30 p.m. United States of America Eastern Time. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.